Good morning and welcome to this special edition of News Check where we are looking at the Kiambaa by-election. And what do we know currently is that the by-elections in Kiambaa constituency and Mogaka did conclude yesterday and vote tallying did start. But IBC has suspended the vote tallying exercise in Kiambaa after claims of rigging by the Jubilee party after their candidates Wanjiku John Njuguna came up with allegations that he has been rigged out in some of the polling stations. That is exactly what is currently transpiring. But what is currently on the ground, we will be heading to our reporter. My name is Njue. I will be joined by Counsel Mogaka, who is a constitutional lawyer and also a leadership and governance expert. And I can say our sign language interpreter, Lucy Mwaura. Of course, we will be getting back to the IEBC interviews where Ambassador Kokimuli is currently being interviewed. And back in studio, talking about the Victory Council, yesterday we were just talking about the use of social media just before we crossed over to Kiambaa. The likes of Kipchumba Murkomen, the senator, and other leaders had actually started congratulating UDA candidate as early as yesterday, and we know very well that IEBC is the only mandated body to announce the final results.
Yeah, quite interesting, but social media is social media and has got to be left to be social media.
Something should be done? Because
well,
if we experience the same thing in a bigger election like the general polls.
Yeah, actually with the information hyper way that we are in today, and with the internet connectivity virtually everywhere, and considering that every candidate has an agent in every polling station, and they receive the results almost at the same time as IEBC receives theirs. So if a political party or a candidate has their own private tallying center to which the results are posted, and clear indications are that candidate has won, then there is no reason why they cannot celebrate. And social media is one of the platforms for such celebration. And therefore, going forward, there are two ways to deal with this thing. Either we put a stop on the social media communication, and therefore run the risk of violating the people's constitutional rights to express themselves, which as a constitutional lawyer I advise that's a no-go zone. What actually needs to be done where we are is IEBC upping its game to match, the real-time information sharing that this world has come to, and therefore open up its server so that, and even the mainstream media should hook up to that server so that they deal with the results as they come online. That is the only cure, so that the official declaration of the results becomes merely ceremonial, and not the reason why somebody should start feeling that they are happy, because it is like even in a football game, when you have a big lead and this is injury time, you know it is 3 minutes. Obviously you cannot stop fans from going to frenzy, ecstasy and celebration. And may I also therefore, even if I'm not in social media, send a post-dated congratulations to Njuguna, Honorable Njuguna, once he gets elected as MP-elect, because these results are supposed to be online, and that's why I was earlier saying that it is a disaster for IEBC or for any candidate to cause a suspension of the tallying exercise or the conclusion of an election merely because they are thinking that with 2 polling stations to go, they have been rigged out. Where were they when we were dealing with 150 or 52 polling stations out of 154? It is not right, and that is why social media, Honorable Senator Murkomen and the UDA team were entitled once they received the results of their candidate and they clearly see that they are ahead of their competitor. They had every reason to celebrate.
And still on social media, we had seen allegations that one of the candidates or some of the candidates had withdrawn their candidature, of which that was not true, and it was peddled all over on social media.
Certainly, it is one of the campaign strategies and competition
just a minute, Council. I hear that John Njuguna Wanjiku is actually addressing the press as we speak. Let's hear what he has to say.
And they don't intimidate, they don't, you know, hawana ubaguzi, but they give each and every one of us equal opportunity, you know, to exercise, you know, the democratic rights that we have as a nation. And we want to call them wherever they are. Those who have not been with us, the Hustler Nation, please come in. This is the real thing, and it is the future of this country.
Na muda mchache uliopita tuliona ukibubujikwa na machozi. Je, hisia hiyo ilikuwa gani?
What is your word to the opponent?
I think I was a bit emotional.
Again, apologies for that technical hitch. That is John Njuguna Wanjiku, who is a provisional winner of the Kiambaa by-election there, making his statement, and I've been able to at least grasp one where he's talking about he's welcoming everyone so that they may work together. He is currently speaking. Let's head there.
What is your word to the opponent?
Yeah, sure.
What is your word to the opponent? What do you tell the opponent?
No, I think in every election there is a winning and there is a losing. So, but we are all winners because you know we had participated in this
head
election.
back there so that we may hear what the provisional winner has had to say. Of course, he is welcoming each and everyone despite the tension that was there a few hours ago.
Oh, certainly. That is a leadership at the embryonic stage, and that is the way to go. Because call it what you may, the election was very tight. It was very tight. And if you asked me, I should see nobody shed a tear or celebrate, because strictly speaking, this was an intra-Jubilee competition. Because UDA and Jubilee are one thing by different names. And therefore, any which way, whether it is UDA that took it or whether it's Jubilee that took it, we should remind them that they always say tuko pamoja. So there is no reason why anybody should drift apart at this point in time. And again, it's kudos to Njuguna in advance, pending his official announcement as the MP-elect, and this is the way competition should go nationwide. And those who thought or started creating a fracas out of disappointment or out of suspicion that things are not right, I think that is not the way Kenya should be or should go. We should exhibit decorum at all times during the time of winning and even the time of losing.
Indeed, and you have mentioned very well that, of course, UDA is just as more or less a splinter group of Jubilee, as we've seen through the campaigns. Even the MPs supporting the UDA candidates are and are still family in Jubilee. They have been elected in Jubilee, and some of the pundits argue that this is more or less like a dress rehearsal for the 2022 general polls, and the UDA party did bring the fight right into the president's doorstep.
True, if you want to say so, but really we do not see the president's hand active on the ground. Of course, his henchmen or his wale wandani were right there. If you look at, and I've heard certain commentators saying that this was really a show-off or face-off between the DP and his boss, His Excellency the President. And I dare warn UDA that if they give that interpretation to this kind of election, then they must be worried about 2022, because if this played out in 2022, 2022. And if you say that it is nusu mukate for DP and His Excellency the President, then that means then that the President, if we extrapolate, controls 50% of Central Kenya. And if that be, and that support of 50% were given to a candidate other than DP, then certainly that is a loss for the Deputy President in the presidency, if arithmetics were anything to go by. That then should inform the UDA team that if they want a win for their candidate in 2022, they should talk nicely to the President so that the central vote is intact. Because if the central vote or the mountain vote does not land on a candidate as a block, then that candidate does not have a head start on anybody. And that therefore also warns the handshake team that is dancing with the President, that if indeed the President will by extrapolation control 50% of the central vote, then they had better not lose any of their votes they garnered in 2017 if they are training their eyes on the presidency. Because if they lose that and His Excellency the President topped the mountain's vote by 50%, if they are intact as NASA as they were, then obviously they are winners 8 o'clock in the morning. But if they are not intact and do not have the vote that they had in 2017 and they expect a top-up by the President of a little of it from Central Kenya, then they lose it. So all these interpretations are available, and I'm sure election strategists will be sitting down and evaluating and informing whoever it is that is making a decision as to which alliance to form, who to deal with, and who not to deal with.
Of course, we will look at the alliances that we've seen in the by-elections that we've had, but looking at the by-elections that we've had, including the London ward and the Juja, and the others that have taken place last year and this year, we've seen a lot of Jubilee, for lack of a better words, rebels, play a key role in ensuring that Jubilee does not win, but they are still firmly rooted in the Jubilee party. Is it time to take stock and do the cleanup at Jubilee? Just slightly over a year to general elections?
Yes and no. But strictly speaking, and that's why I'm saying that Jubilee, this is was a Jubilee affair, because UDA, Kina MP Kuria, all those MPs who were parading there, Rigade, all those are Jubilee MPs, and therefore supporting a faction of Jubilee. Remember, Jubilee came into formation out of consolidation of political parties, among them URP. And what we are seeing here is now UDA is actually a baptismal name of what was previously URP. And therefore, whichever way we look at it, this was a Jubilee affair. But one very dangerous signal that is then coming from the Mount Kenya region is that if Juja went outside Jubilee and UDA, and if Kiambaa now has gone to UDA, we are perhaps waiting to see a rainbow election of MPs and leaders from Mount Kenya region, where they will not be under any one political party. Kiunjuri is there with his political party. Honorable Kuria is there from Gatundu with his party. There is UDA with its party, and perhaps the Bas people from Mount Kenya East will come in with their own political outfit. So we are likely to see a variety out of the mountain.
Okay, indeed. And before we look at the alliances, I'm informed that the fugitive cop Karen Kangogo has shot herself dead. You do remember she shot 2 gentlemen and has been on the run for the last couple of weeks. We will be getting more information on the same and of course relaying that to you as well. In case you just joined us, this is a special edition on News Check. We are looking at the Kiambaa by-elections, and as things stand is that John Njuguna Wanjiku, Wanjiku, is the provisional winner of that by-election. And perhaps we were looking at alliances. We have seen UDA and the Moses Kuria aligned party. We have also seen Jubilee and also ODM forming alliances.